23 worst cars from the 60s and 70s. The 1960s and 1970s were iconic decades for the automotive industry. While many people remember these years for producing some of the most beloved and legendary cars, not every vehicle that rolled off the assembly line during this era was a success. In fact, some were downright terrible. Today, we're diving into the 23 worst cars from the 60s and 70s, vehicles that for various reasons have earned a place in automotive history for all the wrong reasons. 1. Chevrolet Corvair. Next up, we have the Chevrolet Corvair. Debuting in 1960, it initially seemed like an innovative choice. However, its design and engineering decisions, particularly placing the air-cooled engine in the rear, led to serious handling issues. The first-generation Corvair became infamous for its safety problems, resulting in numerous lawsuits against General Motors. The Corvair's story is a classic example of great ideas gone wrong. 2. Subaru 360. Let's start with the Subaru 360. Released in the late 1950s and running into the 1960s, this was Subaru's very first production car. Although it marked the company's humble beginnings, the Subaru 360 was far from impressive. This tiny microcar, often ridiculed for its unattractive design, didn't exactly win over the masses. Despite its looks, Subaru managed to sell nearly 400,000 units over a 12-year period. It's quirky, yes, but not a vehicle most people would want to be seen in. 3. Peel Trident. Moving on to a real oddball, the Peel Trident. Following the equally quirky Peel P50, the Trident was a one-seater with a peculiar large glass top, supposedly for better visibility. With its three-wheel setup, this car was more strange than practical. Only around 45 units were ever made, making it a rare, albeit strange, piece of automotive history. 4. Plymouth Valiant Wagon. The Plymouth Valiant Wagon is remembered as one of the ugliest station wagons ever produced. Debuting in 1960, it had a very basic, almost utilitarian design. Despite its lack of aesthetic appeal, it was known for its spaciousness. The first-generation model only lasted until 1962, when it was replaced by a new design. 5. Trabant 601. In East Germany, options were limited, and the Trabant 601 was one of the few available cars. Developed as an affordable vehicle, its poor build quality and unattractive design didn't help its reputation. Despite this, over 2.8 million units were produced during its 26-year run, making it a significant, if not exactly beloved, part of automotive history. 6. Reliant Robin. Another strange three-wheeler, the Reliant Robin, was produced in the UK during the 1970s. Its unique design and handling, influenced by the three-wheel drivetrain, made it one of the most mocked cars of its time. Still, it remains an iconic, if somewhat infamous, example of British automotive history. 7. Rambler Marlin. The Rambler Marlin was designed to be a luxurious car, but its styling, particularly the rear end, left much to be desired. With design elements that seemed rushed and some questionable interior features, the Marlin never quite found its footing in the market, making it more of a curiosity than a success. 8. Ford Anglia. The Ford Anglia, a popular family car in the UK, saw various iterations over the years. By the time the last model was released in 1962, it had developed an awkward appearance, particularly with its crooked roofline and front end. Despite this, nearly 80,000 units were sold before it was replaced by the Ford Escort in 1967. 9. AMC Gremlin. AMC had its fair share of questionable cars, and the Gremlin was certainly one of them. Introduced in 1970, this subcompact car was known for its poor handling and design flaws. With a weak engine and numerous structural issues, including rust problems and a tendency for the rear window to shatter, the Gremlin is remembered as a failure. 10. Dodge Charger, 4th generation. While the Dodge Charger is generally known as an iconic muscle car, the 4th generation, released in 1975, was a notable exception. Stripping away the aggressive design features that had defined the Charger, This version looked more like a family car than a powerhouse. Fans were disappointed, and Dodge quickly replaced it after just 3 years. 11. Rambler Cross Country. The Rambler Classic line included the cross-country station wagon, which, while practical, suffered from an awkward rear design. This model didn't last long, but it remains an example of how sometimes functionality comes at the cost of style. 12. Hillman Imp. Produced by the British Roots Group, the Hillman Imp was another economical car that missed the mark in terms of design. It was plagued with issues from the start, and while some enthusiasts now see it as underrated, its styling and reliability problems were a significant drawback in its time. 13. Mercury Cougar, second generation. The Mercury Cougar initially found success when it debuted in 1967 as a competitor to the Ford Mustang. However, by the time the second generation rolled out in 1971, the design had become uninspired. It lacked the charisma of its predecessor, leading to a short production run. 14. AMC Pacer. The AMC Pacer is another car known for its quirky looks. Launched in the mid-1970s, it was an odd, compact, two-door vehicle that didn't win many hearts. Despite its less than attractive appearance, the Pacer has become something of a cult classic among certain collectors. 15. FSO Polonaise. The FSO Polonaise was significant in Eastern Europe, but its design, which resembled a less appealing Fiat 125, left much to be desired. While it sold over 1 million units due to its affordability, its appearance never won it any style awards. 16. Lincoln Versailles. The Lincoln Versailles was an attempt by Ford to capture a luxury market post-1970s oil crisis. Unfortunately, it looked too similar to the less expensive Ford Granada, and customers were not willing to pay the premium. Its lack of unique features or design elements doomed it to failure. 17. City Car. The City Car, one of the first electric cars from the 1970s, was more of an experiment than a practical vehicle. With a cramped interior and a very limited top speed, it didn't offer much in terms of performance or comfort. However, it did pave the way for future developments in electric vehicles. 18. Checker Marathon. Known more for being a taxi than a private car, the Checker Marathon mimicked the style of 1950s American sedans like the Chevrolet Bel Air. Despite its long production run, it never achieved the status of a desirable vehicle and eventually led to Checker's downfall. 19. Rolls-Royce Camargue. Even luxury brands like Rolls-Royce can have missteps, and the Camargue is proof of that. Launched in 1975, it was the most expensive production car of its time, but was criticized heavily for its unattractive design. Despite its hefty price tag, only a little over 500 units were sold. 20. Datsun F10. The Datsun F10, essentially the second-generation Nissan Cherry, marked Nissan's first foray into the North American market with a front-wheel drive car. Unfortunately, it didn't make a great impression, with oversized headlights and awkward styling that failed to capture the imagination of buyers. 21. Ford Mustang Tattoo. The Ford Mustang is an American icon, but the second generation, known as the Mustang the Coup, is often remembered as one of the worst. Sharing components with the infamous Pinto, it lost much of the performance and style that had made the original Mustang a success. 22. Austin Allegro. The Austin Allegro was an attempt at innovation, focusing on fuel efficiency and interior space. However, the unusual design, including a square steering wheel to save space, made it unattractive. Despite being the 5th best-selling car in Britain at one point, it has a less than stellar reputation today. 23. Volvo 262C. In the late 1970s, Volvo attempted to break into the luxury coupe market with the 262C. Although it was designed in collaboration with Italian coach builder Bertoni, it retained the boxy style of other Volvo models, making it less appealing than the sleek Italian coupes it tried to emulate. And there you have it. These are 30 of the worst cars from the 60s and 70s. Despite their flaws, each of these vehicles has its own unique story, making them interesting pieces of automotive history. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of cars. And let us know in the comments, what's your pick for the worst car of all time? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
30 iconic cartoon characters of all time. The ultimate list. Welcome to our ultimate list of the 30 most iconic cartoon characters of all time. Cartoons have been a significant part of our lives since childhood. They have a unique ability to impact people in different ways. For some, cartoons have helped shape imagination and creativity, while for others, they've even influenced how they perceive the world around them. Beyond just laughter and entertainment, cartoons have taught us valuable life lessons about respect, friendship, courage, perseverance, and love. It's undeniable that cartoons have played a crucial role in shaping the minds of younger generations. While many modern cartoons have seen upgrades in visual quality, many classic characters remain timeless in the impact they have on audiences. Let's dive into some of the most beloved and influential cartoon characters who have left an indelible mark on our hearts and minds. 1. Mickey Mouse. First on our list is Mickey Mouse, one of the most iconic characters of the 20th century. Mickey represents everything that Walt Disney wanted to portray through his creations: happiness, charm, and fun. Created in 1928 by Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks, Mickey first appeared in Steamboat Willie and has become one of the most recognizable figures in animation, capturing the hearts of millions worldwide. Initially voiced by Walt Disney himself, Mickey's voice has since been provided by a number of talented artists, including Jimmy McDonald, Wayne Allwine, Brett Ewan, and Chris Diamantopoulos. 2. Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is a classic American series that has entertained audiences for generations. The series, created in 1940 by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, follows the comedic antics of a cat named Tom and a mouse named Jerry. Over the years, Tom and Jerry have been voiced by a variety of artists, including William Hanna, Mel Blanc, June Foray, and others. Despite the countless chases and slapstick humor, this duo has brought joy to audiences worldwide. 3. Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is another legendary character, known for his quick wit and sarcastic humor. Created in 1940 by Tex Avery, Ben Hardaway, Chuck Jones, and others at Warner Bros. Cartoons, Bugs Bunny has become a beloved figure in the world of animation. Originally voiced by the legendary Mel Blanc, Bugs Bunny has continued to entertain audiences for over 8 decades, thanks to his clever catchphrases and iconic persona. 4. SpongeBob SquarePants. Next up is SpongeBob SquarePants, a lovable and quirky character created by Steven Hillenburg in 1999. Living in a pineapple under the sea in Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob's distinctive voice and silly behavior, brought to life by voice actor Tom Kenny, have made him a beloved figure for both children and adults. 5. Homer J. Simpson. Homer J. Simpson is a character from the animated television series The Simpsons, created by Matt Groening in 1989. Homer, with his distinctive voice and humorous catchphrases, has become a favorite among fans of all ages. Voiced by Dan Castellaneta, Homer's love for beer and donuts, along with his often clueless yet lovable personality, make him a relatable character. 6. Donald Duck. Donald Duck is another classic Disney character, created in 1934 by Walt Disney and animator Dick Lundy. Known for his distinctive voice, sailor outfit, and love for adventure, Donald has entertained audiences for over 80 years. Originally voiced by Clarence Nash, Donald's character has since been brought to life by Tony Anselmo. 7. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy Rogers. The dynamic duo of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy Rogers have been solving mysteries together since 1969. Created by Joe Ruby and Ken Spears, Scooby-Doo, a Great Dane, and Shaggy, a perpetually hungry human, have become famous for their hilarious antics and love of food. Initially voiced by Don Messick, Scooby-Doo, and Casey Kasem, Shaggy, the characters have been continued by Frank Welker, Matthew Lillard, and others. 8. Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck is another classic character from Warner Bros. Cartoons, known for his unpredictable personality and often playing the role of an anti-hero. Created in 1937 by Tex Avery and Bob Clampett, Daffy was originally voiced by Mel Blanc and has since been portrayed by other voice actors like Jeff Bergman and Joe Alasky. 9. Pikachu. Pikachu is a legendary character from the Pokemon series, created in 1996 by Satoshi Tajiri and Ken Sugimori. Known for his adorable appearance and iconic Pika Pika sound, Pikachu has captured the hearts of millions worldwide. Voiced by Ikue Otani in Japanese and Sarah Natacheni in English, Pikachu remains one of the most beloved characters in animation. 10. Roadrunner. Roadrunner is known for his incredible speed and the classic beep beep sound. Created in 1948 by Chuck Jones and Michael Maltese, Roadrunner has been entertaining audiences with his humorous chases with Wile E. Coyote for over 60 years. Voiced by Paul Julian and later Mel Blanc, Roadrunner's clever escapades continue to delight viewers. 11. Fred Flintstone. Fred Flintstone is a popular prehistoric character from the Flintstones, created in 1960 by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. Fred is known for his distinctive growl, love for bowling, and unique laugh. Originally voiced by Alan Reed, Fred has since been brought to life by other talented actors, including Henry Corden and Frank Welker. 12. Betty Boop. Betty Boop is a classic character known for her flirty personality and unique voice. Created in 1930 by Max Fleischer, Betty Boop began as a human character before being transformed into a French poodle. Voiced by Margie Hines, and later by other artists like Melissa Fawn, Betty Boop remains an iconic figure in animation history. 13. Goofy. Goofy, a classic Disney character created in 1932, is known for his lovable personality and signature catchphrase, "Ah, yuck." Voiced by various artists, including Pinto Colvig and Bill Farmer, Goofy's clumsy antics and good-natured behavior have made him a favorite among fans for generations. 14. Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man, created in 1929 by Elzie Chrysler Seeger, is known for his muscular physique and love for spinach. Voiced by William Costello and later Jack Mercer, Popeye's unique speaking style and adventures have made him a beloved character in animation. 15. Woody Woodpecker. Woody Woodpecker, created in 1940 by Walter Lantz, is known for his distinctive laugh and mischievous personality. Initially voiced by Mel Blanc and later by other actors like Grace Stafford, Woody's chaotic antics have entertained audiences for over 80 years. 16. Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird, a cute and popular character created by Bob Clampett in 1942, is known for his innocent appearance and high-pitched voice. Despite being a frequent target of Sylvester the Cat, Tweety's cleverness always allows him to escape. Voiced by Mel Blanc and later by others like Billy West, Tweety remains a beloved figure in animation. 17. The Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, are crime-fighting superheroes created in 1992 by Craig McCracken. Known for their distinct personalities and unique powers, the Powerpuff Girls have protected the city of Townsville from countless villains. Voiced by Kathy Cavadini, Tara Strong, and E.G. Daly, they remain iconic figures in animation. 18. Eric Cartman, South Park. Eric Cartman, from the animated series South Park, created in 1997 by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, is known for his mischievous and often offensive antics. Voiced by Trey Parker, Cartman's controversial behavior has made him one of the most memorable characters in the show. 19. Garfield. Garfield, created in 1978 by Jim Davis, is a fat, lazy orange cat known for his love of lasagna and sarcastic humor. Voiced by Lorenzo Music and later Bill Murray, Garfield's cynical yet lovable personality has made him a favorite among audiences. 20. Taz. Taz, also known as the Tasmanian Devil, is known for his wild and aggressive nature. Created in 1954 by Robert McKimson, Taz's ferocious character and tornado-like spinning have entertained audiences for decades. Voiced initially by Mel Blanc, Taz's unique personality continues to be a hit with fans. 21. Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd is a famous hunter from Warner Bros. Looney Tunes series, known for his ongoing attempts to catch Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck. Created in 1937 by Tex Avery, Elmer was originally voiced by Arthur Q. Bryan and later by other actors. His classic catchphrases and persistence have made him an iconic character. 22. Marvin the Martian. Marvin the Martian, created in 1948 by Chuck Jones, is known for his distinctive helmet and soft-spoken voice. Voiced by Mel Blanc, Marvin's attempts to conquer Earth have been a source of humor for generations. 23. The Pink Panther. The Pink Panther is a cool, stylish character created in 1963 by Friz Freleng. Known for his smooth moves and signature theme music, the Pink Panther has entertained audiences with his clever antics. Voiced by Rich Little and others, this suave character remains a classic in animation. 24. SpongeBob's Patrick Star. Patrick Star, from SpongeBob SquarePants, is known for his dim-witted yet lovable nature. Voiced by Bill Fagerbakke, Patrick's humorous antics and friendship with SpongeBob have made him a favorite among fans. 25. Scooby-Dum. Scooby-Dum, a cousin of Scooby-Doo, is known for his dim-witted nature and desire to be a detective. Voiced by Dawes Butler, Scooby-Dum's silly personality and attempts to solve mysteries have brought laughter to audiences. 26. The Roadrunner. The Roadrunner, a speedy bird, is known for his ability to outwit Wile E. Coyote in countless chases. Created by Chuck Jones and Michael Maltese, the Roadrunner's iconic beep-beep sound and humorous escapes have made him a favorite character. 27. Yogi Bear. Yogi Bear, created in 1958 by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, is known for his love of pick-a-nick baskets and his clever schemes to outsmart park rangers. Voiced by Dawes Butler, Yogi's lovable personality and catchphrases have made him an iconic figure in animation. 28. George Jetson. George Jetson, from the animated series The Jetsons, is known for his futuristic lifestyle and humorous adventures. Created by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera in 1962, George is voiced by George O'Hanlon and has become a beloved character in animation. 29. Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime, the leader of the Autobots from the Transformers series, is known for his heroic nature and sense of justice. Created in 1984 by Hasbro and Takara Tomy, Optimus has been voiced by Peter Cullen, whose distinctive voice has brought the character to life. 30. Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo, created in 1997 by Van Partible, is known for his narcissistic yet lovable personality. Voiced by Jeff Bennett, Johnny's humorous attempts at wooing women and his distinctive hairstyle have made him a memorable character in animation. These 30 characters have made significant contributions to the world of animation and continue to be cherished by fans of all ages. Whether they are heroes, villains, or somewhere in between, these characters have brought joy and laughter to millions worldwide. Which one is your favorite? Did we miss any of your beloved characters? Let us know in the comments below.
Have you ever wondered what the biggest fish ever caught looked like? You might think you have an idea, but trust me, it's hard to truly imagine just how massive these creatures really were. Today, we're diving into the world of monster fish as we explore the 17 biggest fish ever caught. For this list, we've only included fish that were officially verified by the International Game Fish Association, IGFA, as all-tackle world records. Sure, there have been rumors of even bigger fish caught over the years, but those either weren't caught by a single person or didn't meet the IGFA's stringent requirements. As you might expect, many of these massive catches are sharks and billfish, but there are some surprises too. You'll notice that a lot of these records go back several decades. That's because back in the day, catch and release practices weren't common, and fishing regulations weren't as strict as they are now. Despite that, each of these catches represents an extraordinary feat of angling skill and dedication. These are the biggest catches in history. So, without further ado, let's meet the 17 biggest fish ever caught. 1. White shark, 2,664 pounds. 1. Location: Ceduna, Australia. 2. Date: April 21, 1959. The largest fish ever caught was an absolutely massive great white shark, weighing in at a staggering 2,664 pounds. Caught by Alfred Dean off the coast of Ceduna, Australia, this record has stood the test of time. Considering that great white sharks are now a protected species almost everywhere, it's safe to say this record isn't going anywhere. 2. Tiger shark, 1,785 pounds 11 ounces. 1. Location: Ulladulla, Australia. 2. Date: March 28, 2004, Kevin J. Clapson reeled in this enormous tiger shark, which weighed just 11 ounces more than the previous record from 1964. The ruling declared the record a tie, but there's no denying this tiger shark was one for the ages. 3. Greenland shark 1,708 pounds 9 ounces. 1. Location: Trondheimsfjord, Norway. 2. Date: October 17, 1987. Norwegian angler Tarjei Nordtvedt caught one of the largest sharks ever using herring as bait. Greenland sharks are known for their extreme longevity, often living for over 400 years, and seeing one this large on dry land was an incredible sight. 4. Black marlin 1,560 pounds. 1. Location: Cabo Blanco, Peru. 2. Date: August 4, 1953. Angling legend Alfred C. Glassell Jr. caught this giant black marlin in 1953. His catch still stands as one of the longest-standing IGFA world records. The fish, along with others Glassell caught, is now part of a permanent exhibit at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. 5. Atlantic bluefin tuna 1,496 pounds. 1. Location: Ald's Cove, Nova Scotia, Canada. 2. Date: October 26, 1979. Ken Fraser's bluefin tuna record is another example of an incredible catch that's likely to remain unbeaten, especially with modern conservation laws making it much harder to fish for these massive tunas. 6. Atlantic blue marlin 1,402 pounds 2 ounces. 1. Location: Vitória, Brazil. 2. Date: February 29, 1992. This massive Atlantic blue marlin was caught by Paulo Amorim while trolling off the coast of Vitória, Brazil. The size and weight of this fish still impress anglers to this day. 7. Pacific blue marlin 1,376 pounds. 1. Location: Kauai Point, Kona, Hawaii. 2. Date: May 31, 1982. J. de Bobigne's Pacific blue marlin is still one of the largest marlins ever caught. Incredibly, he managed to reel it in within just an hour. A near miss came in 2015 when an angler caught another 1,376 pounds marlin in the same waters. 8. Six-gill shark 1,298 pounds. 1. Location: Ascension Island, British Overseas Territories. 2. Date: November 21, 2002. Six-gill sharks are rarely seen, let alone caught. Clemens Rump landed this monster off Ascension Island, a remote location in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. 9. Great hammerhead shark 1,280 pounds. 1. Location: Boca Grande. 2. Date: May 23, 2006. Captain Bucky Dennis was fishing for snook and tarpon when he reeled in this 14.5-foot great hammerhead shark. The fight took him 12 miles out into the Gulf of Mexico, making this catch even more impressive. 10. Shortfin mako shark 1,221 pounds. 1. Location: Chatham, Massachusetts. 2. Date: July 21, 2001. Luke Sweeney made history at the Oak Bluffs Monster Shark Tournament by catching this huge shortfin mako shark. The battle took 3 long hours, but in the end, the mako was hauled in for the weigh-ins. 11. Swordfish 1,182 pounds. 1. Location: Iquique, Chile. 2. Date: May 7, 1953. Lou Marin caught this massive swordfish over 60 years ago, and his record still stands. His skill and determination in catching this 14-foot fish using a live bonito as bait are legendary. 12. Pacific bluefin tuna 907 pounds 6 ounces. 1. Location: Three Kings Islands, New Zealand. 2. Date: February 19, 2014. Angler Donna Pascoe battled this Pacific bluefin tuna for over 4 hours in rough weather conditions. Her effort earned her the IGFA Best World Record Award for 2014. 13. Big-eyed thresher shark 802 pounds. 1. Location: Tutukaka, New Zealand. 2. Date: February 8, 1981, Diane North caught this giant big-eyed thresher after an epic fight lasting over 3.5 hours. The size of the catch, combined with the skill needed to handle a thresher shark, makes this a remarkable record. 14. Thresher shark 767 pounds. 1. Location: Bay of Islands, New Zealand. 2. Date: February 26, 1983. David Hanna's thresher shark catch was just as impressive as Diane North's. Thresher sharks are known for their unique hunting style, which involves using their tails to stun prey. 15. Dusky shark 764 pounds. 1. Location: Longboat Key, Florida. 2. Date: May 28, 1982. Warren Girl set this record while fishing off the coast of Florida using bonito as bait. 16. Bull shark 697 pounds 12 ounces. 1. Location: Malindi, Kenya. 2. Date: March 24, 2001. Ronald de Jager's bull shark catch was the result of trolling a live yellowfin tuna. It took the record by just 12 ounces over the previous one set in 1994. 17. Goliath grouper 680 pounds. 1. Location: Fernandina Beach, Florida. 2. Date: May 20, 1961. Lynn Joyner caught this Goliath grouper in a famous fishing spot. Since regulations now protect this species, it's unlikely that anyone will break this record anytime soon. These are some of the most impressive catches in the history of fishing, demonstrating incredible skill, determination, and patience. With today's conservation efforts, many of these records are likely to stand for a long time. But that's okay, the ocean needs its giants to thrive. Which of these catches impressed you the most? Do you think any of these records will ever be broken? Let us know in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Screen for an attorney.
Care.
Mr. Jones.
Today, we're diving into the shocking world of courtroom freakouts. We're counting down 10 convicts who completely lost it after being sentenced to life in prison. These moments are intense, emotional, and at times, downright bizarre. So, before we jump into the chaos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a wild story from us. Starting off our list at number 10 is Mr. Jones. Now, this guy is known only by that name, and trust me, it's probably for the best. He's in court because he took someone's life, and the judge tries to ask him some basic questions, like if he went to school. But instead of responding, Mr. Jones starts making terrifying noises and showing off his teeth. He sounds more like an animal than a human being, and his bizarre behavior is freaking out everyone in the courtroom, especially the police officers standing next to him.
Screen for an attorney.
Care.
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones seems to be under a lot of pressure, especially since the state he was in still uses the electric chair. Or maybe he's just on something because he's making a vampire face throughout the entire hearing. He even says he doesn't care about having an attorney, which makes things even more disturbing. This is definitely a case of someone losing it under the weight of their own actions. At number 9, we have Kayla Norton. This case is rare because it's a female convict freaking out. In 2017, Kayla and her boyfriend caused chaos in Georgia. They drove around in a pickup truck, waving Confederate flags, and hurling insults at people. They even brandished firearms at innocent pedestrians, including children. Eventually, they were arrested for disturbing the peace in their town. So, why did Kayla freak out in court? Well, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison, which is practically a life sentence for her. While she didn't physically harm anyone, her actions were considered severe enough to warrant a lengthy prison term. One of her victims even forgave her in court, but the judge wasn't so lenient. Kayla broke down in tears when she realized the full weight of her sentence.
But I want you all to know that that is not me. That is not me.
Next up is Jacob Morgan at number 8. Jacob's story is a tragic one. He was messing around with fire when he accidentally set his apartment on fire, resulting in the death of his younger brother. While Jacob claimed he didn't mean for it to happen, the judge wasn't swayed by his remorse. During his trial, the judge delivered a life sentence, and that's when Jacob completely lost it. He burst into tears, begging the judge not to send him to jail for life. Overcome with emotion, Jacob fell to the floor, unable to comprehend the reality of spending the rest of his life behind bars. It's a heartbreaking moment, but also a stark reminder of the consequences of reckless behavior.
Therefore, I am going to find that there is probable cause to charge the individual with the found over for General Sessions Court for lay charges.
Coming in at number 7 is John Freeman. This guy took the life of a 5-year-old girl named Isabella Tennant. His crime is as horrific as it gets, and when the judge sentenced him to 22 years to life, the tough guy facade he had been maintaining crumbled. Freeman broke down in tears in court, repeatedly apologizing to the girl's family. He said he was sorry for taking their daughter away and acknowledged that nothing could bring her back. Despite his tearful apologies, the judge and the family were understandably unforgiving. Freeman's breakdown in court couldn't undo the irreversible damage he had caused.
So sorry to all their family, but nothing can take away from that. I understand that.
At number 6, we have Keeson Wilkins, whose courtroom freakout is as ridiculous as it is bizarre. Keeson was sentenced to 42 years in prison, which is effectively a life sentence for him since he was already 50 years old at the time. Instead of facing his fate, Keeson tried to fake a fainting spell right in the courtroom. He asked the judge for a moment, then dramatically fell over, knocking his chair down in the process. While the people in the courtroom benches behind him stood up in shock, his lawyer remained seated, likely unimpressed by the theatrics. The judge didn't buy his act either and told him to get up. Keeson, still trying to sell his fake fainting, sat there pretending to be unconscious. The whole scene was more comical than convincing.
The fact that the defendant is slouching over to the side and acts like he's sleeping. His breath appears to be...
Next up 5 is the inmate who thought preaching to the judge would help his case. This convict believed that only God could judge him, and he made that very clear in court. Unfortunately for him, that's not a legal defense, and the judge wasn't having any of it. As the judge handed down the sentence, the inmate began shouting and screaming random things at the judge, clearly losing his grip on reality. It was a chaotic scene, and while his religious convictions might be sincere, they didn't earn him any leniency in court. The judge remained unmoved, and the inmate was escorted away to begin his long sentence.
And that is that only Jesus Christ can judge me. Yes, all right? You judge people as if your tongue is a gavel, and you prosecuted a lot of innocent people that let you do the same to me. You're not even thinking, my friend.
Leave him there, but just...
At number 4, we have Leon Montgomery, a man who committed one of the most heinous crimes imaginable. Leon was convicted of taking the life of a newborn baby, and the court sentenced him to 40 years behind bars. As expected, Leon freaked out when he heard his sentence. He claimed he was innocent and demanded a new trial, but the judge wasn't interested in his pleas. In fact, Leon's behavior in court was so disruptive that the judge added an extra 6 months to his sentence for contempt. It's hard to feel any sympathy for someone who committed such a terrible crime, but Leon's outburst only made things worse for him.
It's wrong to people.
And that'll be 6 months to serve when you finish serving.
No, 6 months. I got 30 years. Everybody here get...
Control yourself. I'm going to remove you.
Coming in at number 3 is Mitchell Blair, who is often referred to as the worst mother in America. Mitchell took the lives of her 2 children and stored their bodies in her freezer. Her crime was discovered when repo men came to take her belongings and found the bodies in her freezer. In court, Mitchell showed no remorse. Instead, she was filled with anger and even said she would do it again if given the chance. Her courtroom freakouts were frequent and intense, and she blamed the judge and her lawyer for her life sentence. It's clear that Mitchell is a dangerous and disturbed individual, and her lack of remorse only solidified her fate. At number 2, we have David Morat, a known troublemaker with a history of flaunting his bad behavior on Instagram. One day, David broke into a home with the intention of stealing but ended up almost taking the homeowner's life in the process. Thankfully, the homeowner survived, but David's actions earned him a life sentence. In court, David went from a tough guy persona to a sobbing mess. He completely freaked out when he realized he would be spending the rest of his life behind bars. It's a far cry from the bad boy image he had cultivated on social media, and his tears did nothing to lessen his punishment.
The haze of the drugs has worn off as I matured and seen the lifestyle that I thought.
And there you have it. 10 convicts who completely lost it after receiving life sentences. These courtroom moments range from tragic to bizarre, but they all serve as reminders of the consequences of criminal behavior. The justice system doesn't always bring out the best in people, especially when the reality of a life behind bars sets in. If you found this video interesting, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a part 2 with even more courtroom freakouts. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Throughout history, there have always been people willing to deceive others for personal gain. Whether it's for wealth, power, or simply the thrill of pulling one over on their fellow humans, con artists have existed in every society. Their stories often capture our imagination because they show the extraordinary lengths people will go to in order to achieve their devious goals. Today, we're counting down 20 of the most notorious con artists of all time, in no particular order. 20. William Challoner. William Challoner was a 17th century Englishman notorious for his counterfeiting crimes. At a time when tampering with currency could have devastating effects on the economy, counterfeiting was punishable by death. Challoner didn't stop there, though. He also sold fake cures for illnesses and acted as an agent provocateur, setting people up for his own gain. Challoner became such a threat that none other than Sir Isaac Newton, yes, the Isaac Newton, conducted a thorough investigation, utilizing spies and informants to bring him down. After a lengthy trial, Challoner was executed in 1699. His efforts to avoid the noose by pretending to be insane failed, leaving his legacy as one of the boldest criminals in history. 19. Gregor McGregor. Some con artists are notable for their audacity, but Gregor McGregor took it to another level. He invented an entire country. In the early 19th century, McGregor convinced people that he was the ruler of a fictional land called Poyais in Central America. He sold the idea of Poyais as a tropical paradise, a land where settlers could prosper with minimal effort. Sadly, those who believed him and traveled to the so-called paradise found nothing but uninhabitable wilderness. Many died from disease, and McGregor's scam was eventually uncovered. Yet, he ran similar schemes even after this debacle. 18. Jean de Valois Saint-Remy. Jean de Valois Saint-Remy was an extraordinary con artist whose schemes had a significant impact on French history. Jean claimed royal lineage from the French house of Valois, although her life was far from regal. She is best known for her role in the affair of the diamond necklace, a scandal that tarnished the reputation of Queen Marie Antoinette and, according to many historians, contributed to the French Revolution. Jean deceived the Cardinal de Rohan into believing that he was helping the Queen purchase an outrageously expensive necklace. Using forged letters and a prostitute impersonating the Queen, Jean swindled both the Cardinal and the jeweler who created the necklace. Although Jean was eventually caught, the damage to the monarchy's reputation was irreversible. 17. C.L. Blood. In the 19th century, medicine was still developing, and people were desperate for cures to ailments that had no solution. C.L. Blood took advantage of this vulnerability by marketing oxygenized air as a miracle cure for everything from respiratory issues to throat problems. His fraudulent medical claims made him rich, but his crimes didn't end there. Blood was also involved in blackmail, tax evasion, and even murder. Despite these misdeeds, Blood managed to avoid serious punishment and died a free man in his 70s. 16. Cassie Chadwick. Cassie Chadwick, a Canadian by birth, made waves in the United States by pulling off one of the most infamous scams of her time. Posing as the illegitimate daughter of the wealthy industrialist Andrew Carnegie, Chadwick convinced several banks to lend her vast sums of money under the belief that she would inherit part of Carnegie's fortune. Banks were too afraid to verify her story, lest they offend Carnegie, and as a result, Chadwick secured millions in loans before the scam unraveled. When it did, the fallout was massive, and Chadwick was sent to prison for her crimes. 15. William McCloundy. William McCloundy, also known as I.O.U. O'Brien, was one of the many con artists who sold the Brooklyn Bridge. The scam worked by convincing gullible tourists that they could own the iconic structure, often leading to unfortunate attempts to set up toll booths on the bridge itself. McCloundy was eventually caught and sentenced to prison for his audacious fraud. 14. William Canada Bill Jones. A card shark operating on riverboats along the Mississippi River in the 19th century, Canada Bill Jones was a master of the three-card Monty scam. His unique blend of charm and deception allowed him to dupe countless passengers, although his generosity toward others made him an enigmatic figure. Jones was known to hand out money to charity, but his luck eventually ran out when he died in poverty at the age of 40. 13. Victor Lustig. One of the most prolific con artists of the early 20th century, Victor Lustig is best remembered for selling the Eiffel Tower, not once, but twice. Posing as a government official, Lustig convinced scrap metal dealers to buy the Eiffel Tower, a feat that required immense planning and audacity. He also conned Al Capone out of $5,000, which only added to his legendary status in the world of cons. 12. George C. Parker. George C. Parker was another con artist who famously sold New York City landmarks, including the Brooklyn Bridge, Madison Square Garden, and the Statue of Liberty. His sales pitch was so convincing that many of his victims attempted to take control of the purchases. Parker was eventually caught and sentenced to life in prison, but his legacy as one of the greatest swindlers of all time lives on. 11. Charles Ponzi. Charles Ponzi's name is synonymous with one of the most well-known forms of financial fraud, the Ponzi scheme. Ponzi promised investors exorbitant returns by claiming he could take advantage of international postal reply coupons. In reality, he was using money from new investors to pay off earlier investors, creating a pyramid of deception. Ponzi's scheme eventually collapsed, but not before he had swindled millions of dollars from trusting individuals. 10. William Thompson. William Thompson is often credited as the original confidence man, from which the term con man is derived. Thompson's simple yet effective scam involved convincing wealthy individuals to lend him something valuable, such as a watch, under the guise that they could trust him. Once he had their item, he disappeared. His mastery of gaining people's trust earned him a place in history as a trailblazer in the world of cons. 9. Ferdinand Waldo de Mara. Nicknamed the Great Imposter, Ferdinand Waldo de Mara spent much of his life pretending to be someone he wasn't. He impersonated a variety of professionals, including doctors, lawyers, and even monks. De Mara wasn't motivated by wealth as much as he was by the thrill of reputation and recognition. Remarkably, his photographic memory and quick learning allowed him to convincingly perform many of the jobs he pretended to have. Despite multiple arrests, de Mara continued his life of deception for years. 8. David Hampton. In the 1980s, David Hampton tricked numerous wealthy New Yorkers into believing he was the son of famous actor Sidney Poitier. His scheme involved using this false identity to receive money, shelter, and other forms of support. His exploits became so infamous that they inspired the play 6 Degrees of Separation. Even after his scam was exposed, Hampton continued conning people under different aliases. 7. Jerry Tarbert. Jerry Tarbert claimed to be a World War I veteran suffering from amnesia. He garnered significant public sympathy, and at one point, a bill was even introduced in Congress to compensate him for his suffering. However, it was eventually discovered that Tarbert was actually a draft dodger named Alexander Dubois Jr., who had a history of fraud and deceit. 6. Natwarlal. Natwarlal was India's most famous con artist, known for forging signatures and selling famous landmarks, including the Taj Mahal and the Parliament House of India. What makes Natwarlal truly legendary is his ability to escape custody. He managed to escape 9 times, including once as an 84-year-old man in a wheelchair. His exploits have made him a folk hero in parts of India, where he remains an iconic figure in the world of cons. 5. Reed Slatkin. Reed Slatkin was a former Scientologist and financial advisor who orchestrated one of the largest Ponzi schemes in U.S. history. Over the course of 15 years, Slatkin swindled over $593 million from investors, including celebrities and members of the Church of Scientology. His fraud eventually caught up with him when the SEC launched an investigation, resulting in Slatkin's imprisonment. 4. Frank Abagnale. The subject of the film Catch Me If You Can, Frank Abagnale's life as a con artist is almost too unbelievable to be true. He impersonated an airline pilot, a lawyer, and a doctor, among other professions, all while successfully forging millions of dollars worth of checks. After his eventual capture, Abagnale struck a deal to work with the US government to help detect and prevent fraud. He has since become a respected security consultant, proving that even the most notorious con artists can sometimes change their ways. 3. Ali Dia. Ali Dia is the footballer who tricked Southampton Football Club into signing him by pretending to be the cousin of the legendary player George Weah. Dia's lie led to him making a brief appearance in a Premier League match, during which his lack of skill became painfully obvious. He was swiftly released from the team, but his bizarre story has earned him a place in the history of football's strangest moments. 2. Anna Sorokin. Anna Delvey. In recent years, Anna Sorokin, also known as Anna Delvey, became infamous for posing as a wealthy New York socialite to defraud hotels, banks, and her friends. Sorokin convinced people she was a German heiress with a massive fortune, and many bought into the lie, providing her with extravagant loans, lavish stays, and access to high society events. Eventually, her con was exposed, and she was sentenced to prison for multiple counts of theft and fraud. 1. Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes founded the biotechnology company Theranos, claiming that its technology could revolutionize blood testing by using just a few drops of blood to perform hundreds of tests. Holmes convinced major investors and business leaders to back her venture, which at one point was valued at over $9 billion. However, investigative journalism revealed that the technology didn't work as promised, and Holmes was charged with fraud. Her downfall is one of the most high-profile cases of corporate deception in recent memory. If you enjoyed this journey through history's most notorious con artists, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more intriguing content. Whether it's exploring true crime, financial scandals, or the most audacious scams of our time, we've got plenty of stories to keep you fascinated. Let us know in the comments which con artist surprised you the most, and as always, thanks for watching.
10 Future Weapons of Mass Destruction, the terrifying next generation of warfare. Welcome to Flashpoint Updates. In today's video, we're diving deep into a topic that combines the terrifying with the futuristic. Weapons of Mass Destruction, WMDs. Throughout history, WMDs have shaped global conflicts, leaving devastation in their wake. But what if we told you that the weapons of tomorrow make today's nukes and biological agents look like ancient relics? Today, we'll take you through 10 of the most dangerous and futuristic weapons that could change warfare forever. Make sure you stick around until the end, because some of these weapons are straight out of a dystopian nightmare. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into cutting-edge tech and how it impacts wealth, security, and your future. 1. Antimatter weapons, the ultimate planet killer. Let's start with one of the most mind-boggling and potentially devastating weapons, antimatter weapons. The word antimatter might sound like something out of Star Trek, but the truth is far scarier. Antimatter is a form of matter where the particles are the exact opposite of the particles that make up everything in our world. So, what happens when antimatter meets regular matter? They annihilate each other in a burst of energy so massive that it's nearly incomprehensible. When particle physicists first theorized about antimatter, it seemed like pure science fiction. But in the early 20th century, scientists discovered that antimatter actually exists, produced in small quantities when cosmic rays collide with Earth's atmosphere. In the lab, scientists have also managed to create antimatter particles using advanced technologies like the Large Hadron Collider. The scary part comes when you understand the potential energy contained in antimatter. Physicist Frank Close once stated that annihilating a kilogram of antimatter would release about 10 billion times the energy released by a kilogram of TNT. In fact, antimatter produces about 1,000 times more energy than nuclear fission. Imagine the destruction caused by nuclear weapons, then multiply that by 1,000. If we ever figure out how to produce antimatter in large quantities, a weapon based on this could easily obliterate entire cities, or worse, destroy the planet itself. 2. Genetic weapons. Targeted destruction by DNA. Next up are genetic weapons, a chilling advancement in biological warfare. We already know about biological weapons that can spread diseases like anthrax or smallpox. But what if these weapons could be targeted to attack only specific groups of people? That's the horrifying potential of genetic weapons. Genetic weapons could be engineered to target individuals based on their DNA. This means that, theoretically, a bioweapon could be designed to infect only people of a certain ethnicity or with specific genetic markers. This concept was once dismissed as science fiction, but with modern advancements in genetics, it's becoming a reality. Scientists have successfully mapped the human genome, and this knowledge could be exploited by rogue states or terrorists. Worse yet, genetic weapons wouldn't just stop at targeting existing diseases. Some could be engineered to interfere with human RNA, which is crucial for life and cellular functions. By targeting specific genes, a genetic weapon could incapacitate or kill a significant portion of a population without harming others, creating devastating consequences for the future of global warfare. 3. High-powered microwave, phaser, the silent city destroyer. Microwave weapons are another terrifying leap forward in modern warfare. Known as Pazer, the U.S. military has developed a high-powered microwave weapon capable of disabling electronics with the flick of a switch. Unlike traditional explosives, Pazer doesn't rely on heat to destroy its target. Instead, it emits a concentrated burst of radio frequencies that can scramble the circuits of anything within its path, from enemy drones to city power grids. While currently used to disable drones, the future applications of this weapon are far more disturbing. Imagine a war where, instead of bombs dropping, the enemy could fly over a city and render every electronic device useless. Everything from your smartphone to the city's power grid would be disabled in an instant, bringing life to a halt. Even more terrifying is how quickly the phaser operates. It only takes a microsecond to disable a drone with a single shot. Its ability to disable multiple targets simultaneously could bring devastating consequences to the battlefield, or to any modern city. 4. Directed energy weapons, the laser-powered battlefield. Directed energy weapons encompass a range of advanced technologies, including lasers and electromagnetics, that could change warfare as we know it. Unlike traditional projectiles or explosives, directed energy weapons hit their targets at the speed of light, making them almost impossible to dodge or defend against. Imagine firing a laser beam that reaches its target instantly. This is not just a sci-fi fantasy anymore. In 2020, the U.S. Navy released footage of the USS Portland using a high-energy laser to take down a drone. These laser weapons are incredibly precise, and their low cost compared to traditional ammunition makes them a game-changer. A single shot of a laser costs about $10 worth of electricity, while firing a missile could cost millions. Directed energy weapons also have the potential to scale up in destructive power. Future versions of these lasers could be powerful enough to destroy incoming cruise missiles, disable aircraft, or even take down entire fleets. The simplicity and cost-effectiveness of these weapons make them an attractive option for future military forces, and the technology is developing rapidly. In fact, the military has doubled its investment in these systems over the past few years, while other countries like China and Russia are racing to develop their own versions. 5. Hypersonic kinetic energy, rods from God. Space-based devastation. Imagine a weapon that can drop from space and hit its target with the force of a nuclear bomb, but without any of the radioactive fallout. That's exactly what hypersonic kinetic energy weapons, also known as rods from God, promise to deliver. This futuristic weapon is essentially a massive tungsten rod, about the size of a telephone pole, that would be launched from a satellite in space. As it falls toward Earth, it accelerates to hypersonic speeds, reaching Mach 10 or more. When it impacts the ground, it releases an explosion equivalent to that of an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, obliterating anything in its path. The US military has been experimenting with this technology for decades, and although it's not yet operational, the implications are terrifying. Because these tungsten rods don't rely on nuclear, chemical, or biological materials, they don't violate international treaties prohibiting WMDs from space. Essentially, this weapon can cause nuclear-level destruction without breaking the rules, making it a potentially game-changing tool in future wars. 6. Geophysical weapons. Earthquakes as a weapon? The idea of manipulating the Earth itself as a weapon may sound like something out of a James Bond movie, but geophysical weapons are a very real concept. These weapons are designed to trigger natural disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, or even hurricanes to devastate an enemy's territory. One of the most well-known alleged geophysical weapon projects is the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, HAARP, in Alaska. Some conspiracy theorists claim that HAARP is researching ways to manipulate the ionosphere to create earthquakes or disrupt weather patterns. While the scientific community largely dismisses these claims, the idea of geophysical weapons has not been completely ruled out. China has also made advancements in weather control technology, leading many to speculate that they may be working on geophysical weapons of their own. While much of this technology is still theoretical, the future of warfare may involve weapons that can harness the power of nature itself. 7. Cyber weapons, the invisible threat. In the modern world, we rely on computers for almost everything, from our financial systems to our communication networks. Cyber weapons exploit this dependency, allowing an attacker to bring entire nations to their knees without firing a single bullet. A well-coordinated cyber attack could disable power grids, take down communication networks, and even wipe out entire banking systems. Think about how much of our lives are controlled by computers, from hospitals to traffic systems. In a matter of seconds, cyber weapons could throw a modern city into complete chaos. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of cyber weapons is how invisible they are. Unlike a traditional missile attack, you may not even know you're under attack until it's too late. Entire infrastructures could be dismantled remotely with no trace of the attacker. As our reliance on technology grows, so too does the threat of cyber warfare. 8. Isomer bombs, a new kind of nuclear weapon. Isomer bombs represent a theoretical but incredibly powerful advancement in nuclear technology. Unlike traditional nuclear weapons, which rely on fission or fusion reactions, isomer bombs would exploit the energy stored in atomic nuclei with identical mass but different energy states, called isomers. One particular isomer, hafnium-178m2, has been of great interest to researchers. If triggered correctly, this isomer could release an incredible burst of gamma radiation, potentially 100,000 times more powerful than a chemical explosion. Just 1 gram of hafnium is estimated to hold the energy equivalent of 660 pounds of TNT. While no isomer bomb has been successfully built, the idea remains tantalizing for military scientists. Russia has reportedly continued research into this area, despite skepticism from other countries. If scientists can unlock the potential of isomer bombs, they could unleash a new era of nuclear-like weaponry without the fallout of traditional nukes. 9. Psychotronic weapons. Control the mind, control the enemy. Psychotronic weapons may sound like a wild conspiracy theory, but several governments have shown interest in developing weapons that can manipulate or disrupt human brain activity. In fact, the US and Russia both conducted experiments in this field during the Cold War. The basic concept of a psychotronic weapon is to use directed energy or sound waves to interfere with brain function. Some reports suggest these weapons could cause pain, disorientation, or even influence emotions or thoughts. In 2018, American diplomats in Cuba suffered unexplained brain injuries that some experts believe were caused by psychotronic weapons. These attacks caused headaches, nausea, and cognitive problems, leading many to suspect that they were targeted with some form of brain-manipulating technology. While psychotronic weapons are still in the experimental stage, they could one day be used to incapacitate enemy soldiers or control populations without any visible harm. Imagine a battlefield where soldiers collapse, not from bullets or explosions, but from invisible waves that disrupt their minds. 10. Brain drones. The rise of autonomous war machines. We've all heard about drones being used in modern warfare, but the next generation of drones will be far more advanced and terrifying. Brain-controlled drones, currently being researched by DARPA, could allow soldiers to control swarms of autonomous drones with just their thoughts. These neuromorphic chips are designed to mimic the human brain's ability to learn and adapt. In the future, drones won't just follow pre-programmed commands. They'll be able to learn and make decisions independently. This raises the chilling possibility of drones that can hunt down targets without any human input. The potential for brain drones goes beyond just remote control. Eventually, these drones could operate entirely on their own, using artificial intelligence and neural networks to carry out missions autonomously. These machines would be capable of making real-time decisions based on their environment, and once they're unleashed, stopping them could become nearly impossible. As we've seen, the future of warfare is both terrifying and unpredictable. Weapons that can target individuals by their DNA, manipulate the weather, or control the minds of enemy soldiers are no longer confined to the realm of science fiction. These weapons could reshape global conflicts in ways we can't even imagine. The scariest part? Many of these technologies are already in development. If you found this video informative, be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to Flashpoint Updates for more videos on how technology is shaping the future of warfare, wealth, and innovation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. The most expensive things in the world. In today's world, where we often hear the phrase, "money can't buy happiness," there's another reality where people find immense joy in owning the rarest and most expensive things on the planet. Some dream of purchasing their ultimate home, while others set their sights on acquiring the world's most extravagant items. From luxury jets to rare diamonds, the desire for these extraordinary possessions spans a price range from millions to billions, even trillions of dollars. In this video, we'll dive into some of the most expensive things ever purchased or created. Whether it's a space station or a historic diamond, these items showcase the peak of human creativity, innovation, and sometimes pure extravagance. Let's explore the world's most expensive things. 1. The International Space Station, $150 billion. Topping the list as the most expensive item ever created is the International Space Station, ISS, valued at a staggering $150 billion. The ISS serves as a hub for scientific research and international cooperation, orbiting the Earth at a speed of nearly 17,000 miles per hour. It is a marvel of human engineering, and every day, astronauts on board contribute to studies that push the boundaries of space exploration. Despite its incredible cost, life on the ISS can seem relatively mundane. Yet, the station represents a tremendous achievement in international collaboration, primarily managed by NASA, along with partners from Russia, Japan, Europe, and Canada. The yearly operational cost? A cool $4 billion. Talk about a costly commute to work. 2. History Supreme Yacht, $4.50 billion. If you're into yachts, the History Supreme is an absolute showstopper, with a price tag of $4.5 billion. While not the largest yacht, it took 3 years to build and boasts some of the rarest and most luxurious materials, including gold and platinum. Every inch of this vessel screams opulence, from the deck to the anchor. Rumor has it that this extravagant yacht was purchased by Robert Kwok, a Malaysian tycoon and owner of Shangri-La Hotels and Resorts, making this one of the most lavish purchases on record. 3. Antilia $2 billion. Standing tall on Mumbai's skyline is the Antilia, a 27-story skyscraper residence valued at $2 billion. Owned by Indian billionaire Mukesh Ambani, this property is second in value only to Buckingham Palace. Named after a mythical island in the Atlantic Ocean, Antilia is earthquake-resistant and loaded with luxurious amenities like a private theater, a snow room, yes, a room that creates artificial snow, and parking for 168 cars. Ambani, the head of Reliance Industries, is no stranger to high-end acquisitions, but Antilia is his crowning jewel, a true testament to wealth and status. 4. The Koh-i-Noor Diamond, $591 million. Next on the list is one of the world's most famous diamonds, the Koh-i-Noor, currently set in the crown of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Weighing 105 carats and valued at $591 million, this gem was originally mined in India. Its controversial history includes its acquisition by the British during the colonial era, making it a subject of ongoing disputes. The Indian government has long demanded the diamond's return. 5. Villa Leopolda, $506 million. Perched on the French Riviera, Villa Leopolda is a sprawling estate with breathtaking views of the Mediterranean Sea. Once owned by King Leopold II of Belgium, this luxurious property has a rich history, including a stint as a military hospital during World War I. Today, it's one of the most expensive homes in the world, valued at $506 million. With its elegant design by American architect Ogden Codman Jr., the villa has hosted royalty and billionaires over the years. 6. The Dreamjet BBJ $787,300 million. If you think flying first class is the height of luxury, think again. The Dreamjet, a customized Boeing 787 crafted by Dearjet, is the epitome of opulence in private aviation. Priced at $300 million, this jet comes with a full master bedroom, dining area, entertainment lounge, and private showers. Unveiled at the Dubai Air Show, it's the ultimate flying experience for those who can afford it. 7. Jeff Bezos's Beverly Hills house, $165 million. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is no stranger to expensive real estate, and his Beverly Hills mansion, purchased for $165 million, is a prime example. Originally owned by entertainment mogul David Geffen, this sprawling estate is a testament to Bezos's wealth and taste. Located in one of the most coveted neighborhoods in the world, it is just one of many high-end properties in his portfolio. 8. 1955. Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, $143 million. In the world of classic cars, few vehicles come close to the rarity and value of the 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. This car, often referred to as the Mona Lisa of cars, fetched $143 million at auction, smashing previous records for automotive sales. One of only 2 ever made, this iconic car is now privately owned, but Mercedes has ensured that it will occasionally be available for public viewing. 9. Picasso's Garçon à la Pipe, $104 million. At the age of 24, Pablo Picasso created one of his most iconic paintings, Garçon à la Pipe, which sold for $104 million at auction. Painted during his Rose period, the artwork depicts a young Parisian boy holding a pipe, surrounded by a floral wreath. This painting is now in a private collection, and it remains one of the most expensive artworks ever sold. 10. The Pink Star Diamond, $71.20 million. The Pink Star, a flawless 59.60 carat pink diamond, set a world record when it was sold at auction for $71.2 million. Cut by Steinmetz Diamonds, this gemstone took nearly 2 years to shape. It now belongs to the Hong Kong jewelry company Chow Tai Fook, making it one of the most expensive diamonds ever sold. 11. The Graf Hallucination Watch, $55 million. When it comes to luxury watches, nothing compares to the Graf Hallucination, valued at $55 million. Unveiled by Graf Diamonds in 2014, this watch is encrusted with over 110 carats of rare colored diamonds, making it not just a timepiece, but a piece of wearable art. 12. Carinsurance.com, domain name, $49.70 million. In the digital age, domain names can be just as valuable as physical assets. The domain carinsurance.com sold for a whopping $49.7 million, making it the most expensive publicly known domain sale ever. 13. 1962, Ferrari GTO, $48.40 million. Another car on our list is the 1962 Ferrari GTO, which sold at auction for $48.4 million in 2018. Known for its sleek design and racing heritage, this Ferrari is a dream for car collectors and one of the most valuable cars in existence. 14. The 1933 Double Eagle coin, $18.90 million. Coins may seem like small change, but the 1933 Double Eagle gold coin is a rare gem in the world of numismatics. It sold for $18.9 million, making it the most expensive coin ever auctioned. Designed by Augustus St. Gaudens under the commission of President Theodore Roosevelt, it's regarded as one of the most beautiful coins ever minted. 15. The Dead Shark, $8 million. Art can be many things, including a preserved shark in formaldehyde. Damien Hirst's the physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living, also known as the dead shark, sold for $8 million to billionaire hedge fund manager Stephen Cohen. This avant-garde artwork represents the intersection of life, death, and art. From private jets and classic cars to historic diamonds and art, these expensive items showcase the pinnacle of human achievement, creativity, and indulgence. While most of us will never own such items, they offer a glimpse into a world where wealth knows no bounds. If you enjoyed this journey through the world's most expensive things, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content like this.
Welcome to Flashpoint Updates. Today, we're diving into a bizarre and fascinating topic: 11 weird things people have swallowed. While it's definitely not a good idea to swallow anything other than food or medicine, doctors have encountered some jaw-dropping cases of people ingesting the strangest objects, ranging from fidget spinners to entire cell phones. Stay tuned to find out more, and don't forget to subscribe to Flashpoint Updates to stay informed on more intriguing stories like this one. 1. Fidget spinner. Fidget spinners gained incredible popularity in 2017, with kids and adults alike spinning these toys constantly. But the fun quickly turned into a scare for a 10-year-old girl in Texas. On May 13, 2017, Kelly Rose Johnny-X's daughter accidentally swallowed a part of her fidget spinner while trying to clean it with her mouth. After noticing her daughter was choking, Johnny-X rushed her to urgent care. An X-ray revealed that the metal bushing, a small part of the spinner, was lodged in her esophagus. Fortunately, a doctor successfully removed the object through endoscopic surgery, and the young girl made a full recovery. 2. A lighter. A man in Croatia took extreme measures to avoid trouble with the law, by swallowing a lighter while at a police station. He had wrapped the lighter in cellophane to avoid exposing himself to toxic chemicals. The lighter remained in his stomach for 17 months before doctors were able to remove it safely. The man had been under investigation for smuggling drugs, and swallowing the lighter was an attempt to avoid evidence collection. Thankfully, the doctors were able to retrieve the lighter using a medical tool that worked like a snare. 3. A cell phone. Can you imagine swallowing an entire cell phone? That's exactly what a 29-year-old prisoner in Ireland did. After swallowing the phone, he was taken to the hospital when it didn't pass naturally through his digestive system. Doctors first tried to remove it by pulling the phone up through his esophagus, but the device was too large and awkwardly positioned. Ultimately, they had to perform surgery to get the phone out. It's safe to say this wasn't the kind of call he expected to make. 4. SpongeBob pendant. In a case that even doctors found amusing, a 16-month-old boy swallowed a SpongeBob SquarePants pendant. The child had gotten hold of his sister's necklace, and it wasn't until he began having difficulty swallowing that his parents realized something was wrong. An X-ray of the boy's throat revealed SpongeBob's face staring right back at them. The doctors successfully removed the pendant, and the boy had no further complications. 5. A toothbrush. Sometimes accidents happen in unexpected ways. An 18-year-old woman was using her toothbrush to induce vomiting when she accidentally swallowed the entire 8-inch object. Understandably alarmed, she rushed to the hospital. Doctors quickly intervened, using a snare-like tool to remove the toothbrush. Fortunately, she made a full recovery and was discharged from the hospital within 6 hours. 6. A fitness tracker. Fitness tracking can be a great way to stay healthy, but swallowing your tracker? Not so much. A 13-year-old girl in South Korea accidentally swallowed her Misfit Shine activity tracker while swimming. The device stayed lodged in her stomach for over 30 hours before doctors had to intervene. Using a special tool, they were able to remove the tracker without surgery. Remarkably, the tracker still worked after being removed, and the girl quickly recovered from the incident. 7. Dentures. In another unusual case, a 55-year-old man in India swallowed part of his dentures while having a seizure in his sleep. It wasn't until 8 days later that he realized something was wrong after experiencing chest pain and difficulty swallowing. An X-ray showed that the denture was stuck in his esophagus, but after a complex procedure, doctors were able to remove it without surgery. The man recovered, but it's safe to say he won't forget to remove his dentures before bed anymore. 8. A dental instrument. Dental visits can be stressful, but they usually don't end with swallowing the instruments. A 4-year-old boy in India was undergoing a root canal when he suddenly moved his head, causing him to accidentally swallow a dental tool. The instrument, a pro taper file, became lodged in his stomach. Luckily, the boy wasn't in pain, and doctors decided to wait and see if the object would pass naturally. 2 days later, the boy passed the dental tool without further incident, and he recovered completely. 9. A bobby pin for a 4-year-old boy in Saudi Arabia. What started as innocent playtime ended with an unexpected hospital visit. After swallowing a bobby pin, the boy didn't exhibit symptoms for months. When he eventually experienced pain, doctors discovered that the pin had rusted and pierced through his small intestine, even reaching his kidney. Surgery was required to remove the pin, but the boy made a full recovery. Doctors noted that it's common for young children to explore the world by putting objects in their mouths, though this one had serious consequences. 10. LED light bulb. In a literal light bulb moment, a 15-month-old girl in Hong Kong gave her doctors quite the surprise. She arrived at the ER with breathing difficulties, and X-rays showed that she had swallowed an LED light bulb, which was lodged in her windpipe. The doctors carefully removed the light bulb in pieces to avoid damaging her airway, and the girl recovered fully. It's not every day that someone has to cough up a light bulb, but this case was a bright one in the medical field. 11. Dental pendant. Lastly, we have another dental-related incident, but this time involving a piece of jewelry. A young child accidentally swallowed a dental pendant that was part of a necklace. Fortunately, the pendant passed through the child's system naturally, and no medical intervention was needed. While this story had a happy ending, it serves as a reminder that small objects around the home can pose a danger to young children. Thanks for watching Flashpoint Updates. We hope you found these strange stories as fascinating as we did. If you enjoyed the video and want to hear more about unusual stories, medical oddities, and everything in between, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Stay safe and see you in the next video.
Ten famous singers who overcame throat surgery and reclaimed their voices. The remarkable journeys of singers who overcame throat surgery and reclaimed their voices. The human voice is an intricate and delicate instrument, especially for singers who rely on it for their livelihood. A singer's throat and vocal cords are subject to immense pressure, and any damage to them can severely affect the singer's career. However, medical advancements have allowed many singers to undergo vocal cord surgeries and return to the stage stronger than before. While vocal surgery can be a risky and career-defining moment, some individuals have emerged from these surgeries with renewed abilities or even improved vocal strength. In some rare cases, surgery on the throat or vocal cords marked the beginning of a singer's journey to fame. Below is an exploration of 10 notable cases where individuals either became successful singers or reclaimed their voices after throat surgeries. 1. Adele, a comeback after vocal cord surgery. Perhaps one of the most well-known cases of vocal recovery in modern pop culture is Adele's story. The British singer, famous for her rich, emotive voice and deeply personal lyrics, was at the peak of her career when she faced a significant medical setback. In 2011, Adele was diagnosed with vocal cord hemorrhages, a condition that can be caused by overuse or strain of the vocal cords, resulting in bleeding into the vocal cords themselves. This condition forced Adele to cancel several concerts and go on vocal rest, a frustrating experience for a singer of her caliber. Adele underwent surgery to treat the hemorrhage, a delicate procedure involving the use of lasers to stop the bleeding and promote healing. The surgery, performed by renowned Boston-based surgeon Dr. Steven Zeitels, was a success, and Adele returned to the stage in full form. Her comeback was met with massive acclaim, and her subsequent albums and performances showed no signs of vocal weakness. The success of her recovery is a testament to both the skill of the surgeons and Adele's disciplined post-surgery vocal care. 2. Sam Smith, a smooth recovery and continued success. Like Adele, British singer-songwriter Sam Smith experienced a vocal cord hemorrhage at the height of his career. In 2015, during the tour for his debut album, In the Lonely Hour, Smith's voice began to falter, and he was forced to cancel several tour dates. Vocal cord hemorrhages are common among singers, especially those who perform night after night without adequate rest or vocal care. Smith underwent surgery to correct the hemorrhage, and following the procedure, he adhered to strict vocal rest. His recovery was a smooth one, and within months, Smith was back on stage, performing as powerfully as ever. His vocal performances following the surgery, notably during his Writings on the Wall performance for the James Bond film Spectre, demonstrated that his voice had retained its emotional intensity and clarity. Smith's story is a hopeful one for singers facing similar vocal challenges, showcasing the effectiveness of modern vocal surgery when paired with proper vocal rehabilitation. 3. Julie Andrews, a tragic loss and a legacy reborn. Julie Andrews, the beloved actress and singer known for her roles in The Sound of Music and Mary Poppins, is one of the most famous examples of a singer whose career was dramatically altered by vocal surgery. Andrews possessed one of the most iconic and pristine voices in Hollywood history, making her vocal injury all the more tragic. In 1997, Andrews underwent surgery to remove non-cancerous nodules from her vocal cords. Unfortunately, the surgery left her unable to sing. The outcome was devastating, not just for Andrews, but for her fans, who had admired her crystalline soprano voice for decades. Despite the loss of her singing voice, Andrews found new ways to use her talent, including acting and writing children's books. She became an advocate for vocal health and shared her experience with grace and dignity. Though the surgery ended her singing career, Andrews' story is one of resilience. She continues to inspire generations with her work, proving that even after profound loss, reinvention is always possible. 4. Steven Tyler, Aerosmith's frontman bounces back. Steven Tyler, the electrifying frontman of the rock band Aerosmith, has long been known for his powerful voice and energetic stage presence. However, his rock and roll lifestyle took a toll on his vocal cords, and in the mid-2000s, Tyler faced a significant vocal crisis. He developed a ruptured blood vessel in his vocal cords, a condition that could have ended his career if left untreated. Tyler underwent throat surgery to repair the damage, and the procedure allowed him to return to performing without losing his distinctive vocal tone. After recovering, Tyler continued to record music and perform live with Aerosmith, demonstrating that his voice had not only recovered, but remained as dynamic as ever. His ability to continue belting out rock anthems well into his 60s and 70s speaks to the success of his surgery and post-operative care. 5. Roger Daltrey, defying throat cancer scare. Roger Daltrey, the lead singer of the legendary rock band The Who, faced a serious health scare in 2010 when doctors discovered precancerous cells in his throat. This discovery could have spelled disaster for a vocalist with such a demanding and iconic role in rock history. Daltrey had laser surgery to remove the abnormal cells, a procedure that is precise but carries risks to the vocal cords. Fortunately, Daltrey's surgery was a success, and his voice not only recovered but reportedly improved. He has since credited the surgery with making him feel like a better singer than he was before. Daltrey's post-surgery performances, including his powerful renditions of classics like Baba O'Reilly and My Generation, show that he remains one of rock's most enduring voices. 6. Lionel Richie, polyps, surgery, and revival. In the late 1990s, Lionel Richie, the legendary singer-songwriter, encountered vocal trouble in the form of polyps on his vocal cords. Polyps are growths that can develop due to overuse or strain, and can significantly impact a singer's range and vocal quality. Richie, known for hits like Hello and All Night Long, was at risk of losing the smooth, soulful voice that had defined his career. Richie underwent surgery to remove the polyps and, after a period of vocal rest and rehabilitation, made a full recovery. His voice was restored, allowing him to continue his prolific career in both recording and live performances. Richie's case illustrates how vocal cord surgery, when performed correctly, can be a critical tool in extending a singer's career. 7. John Mayer, 2 surgeries and a remarkable comeback. John Mayer, the Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, experienced vocal cord granulomas, a condition in which small nodules form on the vocal cords due to overuse or acid reflux. Mayer's vocal issues became severe enough that he required 2 surgeries to remove the granulomas in the early 2010s. After the second surgery, Mayer went on extended vocal rest, a challenging period for any professional singer. Despite the difficulties, Mayer made a full recovery, returning to the stage with his voice intact. His subsequent albums, including Born and Raised in Paradise Valley, were met with critical acclaim, and his live performances continued to showcase his versatile voice. Mayer's story is a powerful example of resilience, highlighting the importance of vocal care and the potential for a successful comeback after multiple surgeries. 8. Rod Stephen, From Silence to Song. Rod Stephen, the creator and performer in the popular ABBA tribute band Björn Again, lost his voice entirely after developing severe vocal cord problems. The strain of performing night after night took its toll on Stephen's vocal cords, eventually rendering him unable to sing. After undergoing throat surgery, Stephen was able to regain his voice and return to performing. His recovery allowed him to continue his work with Björn Again, proving that even in cases where vocal damage seems insurmountable, surgery can offer a path to recovery. Stephen's story is particularly inspiring for performers who face the fear of losing their voice, demonstrating that with the right medical care and determination, it is possible to sing again. 9. Marianne Faithfull, A Transformed Voice. Marianne Faithfull's career was marked by a significant vocal transformation after she underwent throat surgery in the 1980s. Known for her delicate and ethereal voice in the 1960s, Faithfull's voice became much deeper and rougher after the surgery, which was compounded by years of heavy smoking and drug use. Despite the change, Faithfull embraced her new voice and continued to record and perform with a distinct, huskier tone. Her post-surgery voice became a defining feature of her later music, adding a raw, emotional quality to her performances. Faithfull's story is one of adaptation, showing that even when a singer's voice changes dramatically, it can still be a powerful and expressive tool. 10. Elton John, A Deeper Voice After Surgery. In 1987, Elton John underwent throat surgery to remove nodules from his vocal cords. The surgery was a success, but it left John with a slightly deeper voice than before. Despite the change in his vocal tone, John continued to release hit songs and perform live, maintaining his position as one of the world's most iconic performers. John's ability to adapt to his new voice and continue his career without missing a beat is a testament to his talent and resilience. His story is a reminder that even when surgery alters a singer's voice, it does not have to mark the end of their career. For many singers, throat or vocal cord surgery represents a critical moment in their careers. While the risks are significant, the stories of Adele, Sam Smith, Steven Tyler, and others show that with the right medical care, discipline, and perseverance, it is possible to not only recover, but sometimes emerge stronger than before. Whether facing vocal cord hemorrhages, nodules, or precancerous cells, these singers have proven that surgery can be a life-changing but ultimately positive experience. Their journeys inspire hope for countless others who may face similar challenges, showing that even after vocal adversity, the music can go on.